What up, guys? Welcome to the Hype Mind. You got Danny, me, and
Drew,
Drew.
welcome back.
So today we're actually talking about good topic today, talking about dating apps, right? All about dating apps.
All about
And-
him.
yeah, and let me just tell you that I just think it's super funny, right? Super fun, and you'll hear what we have to say about dating apps, but a lot of stuff in general. How we're reverting to what we used to do like thousands of years ago, like for most of everything. You think about like, okay, we have technology, we're able to get from point A to point B, super fast, and we have access to all this knowledge and stuff like that, and food, um, and we're reverting to what we used to do back then, which was fast. People didn't really diet before. Now we're dieting. People didn't really spend time to actually practice silence, and now we're doing that or slowing things down, in meditation. So I just think that's interesting. And
But not with dating apps.
say that again.
Not with dating apps.
I think some people, yes, have
How
seen
so?
have seen that kind of the negatives of using dating apps. That's how
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
well, let me ask you this. When was the last time you used something that would be considered a dating app, or like a yeah, yeah, specifically a dating app?
Me, when was the last time I used a dating app?
Yep.
Um,
Have you ever had one on your phone?
yes, I have. Uh, about 3 4 years ago. 3 4 years ago. So I know what
Okay.
it's like. I've used it before. I've been on dates with it, talked to women on it. What do you ask that?
Just for reference, I think it's funny right off the bat when you think about dating apps. You're talking about like reverting back to certain uh, maybe primordial instincts or something. It just strikes me as funny when you really think about dating apps because it's like what's the fast food way to date women, or men, what's the laziest I could possibly do to meet another person. It's like, here it is right here. uh,
Right.
Click yes
Yeah.
or no and hopefully you'll match. it's
Right.
like
Right.
it's
Right.
like it's like the
Right.
McDonald's of meeting people, and it's like
Oh, yes, that's good. That is good. The
it's like
McDonald's of meeting people.
it's like uh, it's like how little effort could you possibly put into meeting someone who, and mind you, people are sold that you're going to meet like your soulmate on dating apps. And so it's like, what's the what's the way I can portray I have absolutely no interest in putting effort into something that I pretend is so important? And it's like, there it is right there, an app for meeting people.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, that is a kind of a pro to it too. Which I mean, I guess you
It
can look at it
is.
as a
Come
pro as
on.
like, okay, you technically have all these options, and you could sit in your house in your living room and just like and make dates, and have relationships. So I mean, there you go. I love it. McDonald's, like the fast food, the fast
I
dating.
just think it's so funny though, because if you think about it,
Uh-huh.
you can kind of see the similarity.
Well, it's like, well, yeah. It's like take out the stuff we don't like. For example, rejection, because like that's where they have the swiping, the left and right swipes for some of them. I think there's different methods for others, but it's you only talk to people or that like you,
That's
so you don't have to confront people
that's a
um
good point, right? You
that don't.
swipe, you swipe, you swipe no, and you never hear from the people who don't like you. You swipe
Right.
yes, and you only hear from the
And you
people
never
who do like you. So
yes, and you never
it's
see if
like
they say no or not, right?
But that's what I'm saying is you never get to actually be confronted with the rejection. It's always you only get the good out of it, which seems like a good thing, but I don't think it necessarily is actually. It's like you need to be able to handle rejection in your
Right.
life. That might even be like a fundamental skill to be human, to be honest. At least on a societal level, to be able to participate on a societal level and not be able to handle rejection, that could be devastating.
Right. Right. Well, this just reminds me too. I gotta tell you this. So, my mom's getting into, um, it's it's how bread used to be made. So it's I mean, I'm not a professional on this, but
Well, it's always been made with the same ingredients.
right, but it's what they've done to it is they've taken out the ingredient, like they've taken out the some of the ingredients, or they've taken out some like the minerals and stuff like that, and then put it back in. Why? Is because they would ship it from, far, far away. So it would the whole idea is if they didn't do that, it would spoil. And because they did this, it wasn't as there's a lot of missing minerals and vitamins in there that people are missing out on. So basically bread wasn't as nutritious because bread, and this is funny because I didn't know this, in the Bible when Jesus said, I am the bread of life, right? It meant more to them than it meant to us, because for them, they like people lived
Bread
off
was a
bread then,
staple,
right?
right?
People would live off it like they lived off, I don't know, during the potato famine, they live off potatoes. It's like that was just what you ate all the time, right? And if you wouldn't, it wouldn't be like you have to eat your vegetables. It would be like you have to eat your bread. Um,
Right.
and it's just fascinating
Well,
because, yeah, if you
yeah.
take you in this other scenario, you take out, you take out some of
Key ingredients.
yeah, some of the key ingredients, right? You can see, okay, maybe it doesn't. The whole point is so it doesn't spoil, but it malnourishes you.
But it hurts other things. Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
still it's not the same thing.
Right.
Okay,
Hey,
so
rejection's
you
healthy, huh?
you haven't you haven't used a dating app in 4 years. What do you do?
What do I do, dude? You know,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great question. It's funny because what I do, and I know you do this too, is it's simple. It's you meet people, and my my family thinks it's really funny, and they kind of tease me for going out and meeting random people and even making dates that way. And I feel like the super friendly kid who's like, "Hey, what's your name? Hey, can we be friends?" Just what it reminds me of. But it's
The little
but I
boy in
gotta
the
tell
grocery
you,
store waves at
but right, gotta tell you, it works. It definitely works. I mean, Andrew, what's your input on that?
you. Interestingly enough, I would argue I probably have greater success in my area of the marketplace, so to speak, meeting. And I guess I can't be completely accurate because I haven't used a dating app in so long.
Right,
But like I would argue I have greater success meeting people face to face than I ever did on a dating app. And of
right,
course,
right, right.
like I said, it's been years, and things have changed. A couple years of
In a good,
difference
yeah, in a good way
age,
or a bad way.
a couple years of difference in age in a man makes a lot of difference. On success with women. I mean, if a man develops like a man should, then he's going to be substantially more successful with women um, in just a year. So there is that to factor in. But what were
Hmm.
you saying?
Right. Right. Well, you're saying, yeah, things might have changed, but it's like in a good way or a bad way, you know. I mean, who knows? Maybe a good way.
Well,
But
I'm just saying you can't help the fact that as a man, as you mature, you're naturally going to be better with people. You're going to be better with women. You're going to be more confident. You're going to have a newer value level. You're going to be making more. You're going to be having a different influence. You're going to be, you're developing as a person. So naturally, you're more attractive as a
Right.
person as you
That is
develop.
that is a good point. That is a good point. Um, it's what it's just what kind of people did you meet on dating apps? What kind of what was the integrity level like? Were were they better or worse? I could tell you the people I met on dating apps were not not the type of people I wanted to be with. And it kind of makes sense if you look at it that way. Because, if someone's on a dating app, why are they on a dating app? Well, clearly they're not in a relationship, one, right? And then two
But
is they
that's
don't
not even true. That's not even true.
well then
Why are they on a dating app? Many of them are in relationships.
there we go. Hey, there we
And they're,
go. If they are
you
in a
know,
relationship, that tells you even more
it's,
that
I would not compare it to this. But what you're asking is basically you're saying there is a difference. It's like meeting someone at the bar versus meeting someone at a museum. One's a hobby, the other should not be a hobby. So yeah, I mean, I can't deny the fact that I've met awesome people on dating apps, some of whom I still talk to, some of whom are really fun, even if I don't talk to them anymore. We had a blast hanging out or whatever. But um,
Mhm.
but a lot of them weren't fun, like you're saying. Like, but you could argue the same
Right, right. Right.
outside of
Well,
dating apps too.
okay.
So,
I get it, but get this perspective too. It's like if someone's on a dating app, let's say you have a lot of, options already, you know,
well, women are always going to have a
prospects.
lot of options on a
You're
dating app.
you're not going to be on a dating app. Say that again?
Statistically, women already have a ton of options on a dating app. I
Right.
mean, all you have to do is Google it. It's the results are there in your face.
Right. Well, that's another question too. It's do women use dating apps for validation?
Hands down, yes. Oh yeah. I've had women just tell me the only reason they have dating apps, and multiple women. I'm not just talking one or two. I've had multiple women tell me, "Oh, I have these apps. I have dating apps. I have social media in general, just simply for validation. Simply to feel good or to be told, um, you know, that I'm beautiful." So I
Guys, did
mean,
you hear
that's kind
that?
of also very evident, huh?
I said, guys, did you hear that? Did you?
Did you hear that? What up? Yeah. No, that's
Mhm.
also not something to be taken lightly because, like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Right. Another thing is, well,
I
how?
mean, Rich Cooper talks about that too. Before you move on, he talks about how, like, from a guy's perspective, if you're talking to a woman and she has social media and she's not using it for sales or it's not private, then she's using it for validation, and that's you really there's really no way to get around that without pointing out that that's true. Like,
Mhm.
if it was just about keeping in touch with your friends, then you're going to use a private account, or you're going to have very few followers. But if you have
Right.
a freaking ton of people who are following you on social media, and it's not private, and you're not using it for, entrepreneurial reasons, then it's very, very obvious you're using it for validation. Like,
Right. Why else? Why
go
else
ahead,
would you
try
have
to
all these
argue that
followers?
it's there. Unless you're like posting um, motivational things every day, but usually those motivational things are a picture of you and something saying, I hit my goal today. I look really hot or whatever. Like, so it's actually
Right.
not
Yeah.
motivation. It's I want validation disguised as motivation. But the same thing is said about dating apps. Like, you know, sometimes people are looking for relationships. Sometimes people aren't being real about that.
Right.
I had this girl tell me, she was like, I'm on I think it was Tinder, because
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna find my soulmate there. And I was like, but you literally are telling me you're nuts for me. Like through your actions and your interest level, it's very clear you're interested in me. And we didn't meet on Tinder. And you have 4 Instagrams. Like you're deluding yourself. You're
For
deluding
instance,
yourself. Why do you have 4 Instagram accounts and you believe you are absolutely confident you're going to meet your soulmate on Tinder, but you're hitting me up left and right, blowing up my phone, and you didn't even meet me online. You met me through, a normal face-to-face encounter. Like, so, you got people out there, very frequently it's women who are saying one thing, but they don't. Sometimes it's completely unconscious, but their words don't match their actions or their beliefs. Just not congruent,
right,
which
right.
is typical.
And then what are the results of that? I mean, on dating apps, how many like matches do you get that actually you're able to make a date with? An
I
actual
mean,
date.
not that many, but again, that could have been. It's been so long.
Right,
I mean, the
right.
last time I used a dating app was probably close, coming up on 2 years ago, and I was I was successful, but it was way more fun to meet people in person. It had been a long time. I downloaded one again, or a couple actually, I think, and it just wasn't that fun. Like I enjoyed in person way more.
Hmm. I
Most
think
most
guys
people,
actually should be
it
able
was like
to.
a longer process.
Guys should be
Huh?
able to at least. Guys should be able to meet other people in person. I mean, you hear it that the best places to meet somebody in a
Well, you
romantic
both should.
relationship is through
There's
friends.
no reason why. I get that there's a difference between men and women, but there's no reason why if you're a girl, you should be so anxious to talk to someone that you can't look at them and just give them the vibe to let the guy make the move.
Right, right.
Sometimes as a woman, there's nothing wrong with like I had a work experience like that once where this girl came up to me and was like, you know, you must be new. Like I've never seen you here before, right? And I knew that was an attraction to you, an interest to you.
Right.
She clearly wasn't saying that because of the words. Like
Well,
what
yeah,
she was actually saying was, "Who are you? I want to know you."
right.
And
Well,
so,
it's true. Yes, it's true. Women are
so like,
are naturally not going to tell you like naturally not going to make plans and be like, hey, let's go out this time, pick me up here and there. I mean, we know that,
right.
you know,
Well,
and
what
it's
I,
like,
what I'm saying though is, women shouldn't have so much anxiety that they need to meet people through an app. They
right,
should be able to walk up to people and you know open up a conversation occasionally that says, "Hey, I'm interested. Make a move. I'm not going to do it for you, but am going to. I am going to like subtly and indirectly let you know."
apply interest.
Right.
I mean, over time, you know if someone's interested in you. You just read their
But
body
again,
language,
dating apps, they make it easy. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is swipe and match and hope someone else messages you. If you match. So, but
Hmm.
what's been your experience with either sides of the?
Say that again. My experience with
What's been
what?
your experience with either sides?
Oh, with either sides. Well, definitely better experience meeting people because it's like, and you and me were talking about this, just together recently about actually, showing up places. And I used to do this. Um, and they teach you this in sales. It's the best way to like, it's not just advertising yourself. The best way to meet other people and meet clients is to actually go there and, face to face and, show up. And,
Well, it's how you network too.
right. Yeah, true.
If you want to
And it's like,
network, show up, look good, and start talking.
exactly. It always leaves a better impression. It's always breaks the ice. It's always it's just it it opens it's a great better start to a relationship than through a dating app, because then you have to do that later on. But it makes things happen. It moves things along right away. All I'm saying, it's been easier. It's been better.
Better story.
Yeah, and the the dates have been much more fun.
Yeah,
Not as awkward, for sure. For sure, there wasn't that
that is
awkward.
true. Yeah, they
And
always do start off a little awkward, a little lack of trust, versus meeting people in person. It's usually there just seems like it's a better foundation to build off of.
mhm. Plus, you feel more accomplished, I guess.
Well, how do you feel about success? Like, do you think it's just as effective or more effective? Like if you simply went by the pure numbers of how many people you've met.
Mhm. Okay, so I'm not going to say it's not as successful as the amount of dates you're going to find, but
Well,
what I am
especially not.
gonna, yeah, it you hey, maybe you might find more dates and might actually get more people to go out with you through dating. I mean, of course, depends how much time you're spending doing it, right? Depends how much time you're on that
Right,
dating app, or depends how much time you're actually going out there, enjoying your hobbies, and then taking advantage of every opportunity you see someone attractive walk by and be like, and go over
right.
there,
Well,
approach them. So
there's a
that
lot of
depends, but
factors,
it's also,
but
that the type of people you're gonna meet too, is it's very different, or it's at least, and I've seen very different, right? You're not gonna, you know, the there's some women that don't even go on dating apps, and there we
well,
go. Open more options for you too.
there's a lot of factors that affect it. But like your experience, what's your experience been like? Just by numbers, has it been worth reverting strictly to in person?
100%. Yeah,
You think you've had more success or less meeting people?
more. I gotta say, there's has been interactions I have where, after that interaction, I decided, not to make a date, or like not to get a number, get some kind of contact information to make a date in the future. Because you see people, you read them much better than behind a phone, behind a computer.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, it's like texting.
but on the other hand, it's like, yeah, I've used dating apps, right? I've gone out and met people more,
Yeah.
you know, and I think there's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong um with going out. I mean, I think there's actually pros to it. I think guys should be able to go out and be able to handle that kind of rejection. And it's okay, because people, I mean, guys, especially me when I was younger, I didn't, I didn't know that it was normal to be nervous and like be uncomfortable doing that. But then you just get over it, and you know it's normal, and you're able to do it. Because like that's a barrier too. A barrier is, hey, I'm introverted. I'm not good at meeting people. It's like, okay, that's fine, right? But it's just like etiquette. It's just like being polite. You're gonna go over to somebody's house for dinner. You don't have to go over the top with your table etiquette or whatever, but you just do the basics, right? And this is how you get jobs. This is how you create good relationships, other than romantic relationships. This is how you have a good date. And it's like it's the same thing. It's like you don't have to have this super bubbly personality and go out and be super outgoing, right? You just have to be able to go out and meet people, and that's it. And it's simple.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
think I think
I
guys
like what,
especially internalize it and make it so much more complicated than it actually is. It's like, hey, like, where do you want to be? Like, where do you want to? And it's another thing, is do you, do you want to meet somebody through a dating app? Would you rather meet somebody out and about? Rather say,
well,
hey, I
that's
met this
there's
person on a
two big
hike.
points. There's two big points. The first one is that it's okay, if you had to meet someone you were going to spend the rest of your life with, where would you want to meet him? You know, that's a question Corey Wayne asks. You know, he's like, where are you going to look if you're going to look for someone, you know, a future girlfriend, right? Because he's usually coaching men. He says you're not going to look at the bar, you're not going to look at the club, you're probably not going to, you know, there's certain places you're not going to look. You're going to want to look somewhere like the museum if you like history, or the artist club or the book club if you're a bookworm, or like you're going to look somewhere where you hope they have a similar hobby with you know. And so a dating app is like, well, one, you kind of mentioned some of the cons of the people who are on dating apps, and that's not always true. There's a lot of good people there too, but there's also a lot of room for scummy people. But then there's also the fact that, again, you don't know if you have any connection other than the bio, and like people over exaggerate their bios all the time, especially women. Like lots of women who don't post pictures themselves, or who post old pictures, or who put on too much makeup and that's not actually what they look like. And so there's lots of room for not actually meeting people genuinely, or people who have the same interest as you.
100%.
So it actually just takes longer. There's
100%.
more work involved. The other big thing is, one of the reasons, I would say one of the biggest reasons that I don't think highly of dating apps or social media is because it's addictive. You get it, you tell yourself, you know, I'm going to meet someone on a dating app, and you become absorbed in it. You just, all you do is hop on it in your spare time and swipe and swipe and swipe, and you can't get off it. You swipe and you swipe, and then you're hoping for a match, and you just become consumed in this goal of matching with someone. And I think the same goes for women, you know, because again, they're looking for validation in a lot of cases, or they're looking for a partner. And so they also become consumed in it because they want, you know, women live off validation, just like men thrive off challenges. Versus meeting people in person, where, you know, when you're in between a circumstance where you can meet people, you're very relaxed. You know, you're like driving. You're in between. But when you're at the museum, you're relaxed looking at art, and you might be thinking, oh, maybe there's someone beautiful in this building. Who knows? But when you have a dating app, just like social media, there's always a draw to it because it's so accessible. And so you really don't have anything that takes you away from it except your own self-control, which most of the time is incredibly weak, and you know that. I left you speechless, huh?
Come again?
I left you speechless, huh?
Good.
Either that or the service froze again.
You did. I was just thinking when you talk about bios, I mean, it's so true. You're not gonna know that person, you know, just through their bio, or just through what they tell you through texting, and, you know, on the phone. It's the person to person. It's actually seeing them in person,
Well,
reading their body language.
people also only, you know, put their good things in their bio usually. Or, well, that's not true. You get plenty of people like, well, you know, I'm struggling with anxiety or something, so you have to text me first. But like, usually you're only putting good things in your bio, you know. Mm-hmm. Duh, like, of course. I'm not saying that's bad, but
well,
like, when you meet people in person, you get the full picture the more you conversate with them.
Right. Well, there's clearly,
like, you can look at their body language and see that person's anxious, you know.
Right. Well, there's, yeah. The example you gave right now is clearly an example of like using an insecurity as an excuse. I don't want to text you first, right? So I think that's fun.
I just think it's a lot more fun to meet people in person. I mean, you know, from a guy's perspective, it's more challenging. It's exciting. From a woman's perspective, I don't know. I'm not a woman, but
right. I think.
But again, most women are seeking intimacy, and they're seeking something, you know, deep. And so, like, if you really want intimacy and something deep, then you're gonna find that in person. You're gonna be, I think you'd find greater fulfillment being like, yeah, we met at the Museum of Natural History because we both love history, rather than, yeah, we met online because we just happened to match, even though he didn't have a bio and I did, like, or if I, whatever. Like, there's an example.
Right.
And the funny thing is, look how long the world has existed successfully. I mean, obviously successfully, because look how many people there are, right? People have met and reproduced without dating apps. So it's like, I don't, just something to think about.
Yeah.
Any final comments before we wrap up?
No, that's it. This is a good one. I feel like we could go all day about this.
Honestly, we could.
Branch
if
off.
you want to talk about dating apps with us on our podcast, drop a comment.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace.